Hey, what's going on, everybody? Joe Menza here. I hope everybody's doing well in their painting. I'm going to do a little winter scene here, and I'm going to not use any white gouache this time, like I always kind of do. What I'm doing is I'm wetting the paper here. I'm not wetting it all over. I'm leaving some areas without water. Sometimes I'll wet the whole page. This time I'm leaving some areas, and we'll try to leave some white behind. I'm taking some yellow ochre now, and I'm just sort of randomly placing it. Those are areas I'm going to have hopefully a little light. Sometimes things don't always go as planned. If you're painting, you well know that. Sometimes you change things up in the middle. I try to leave some light in the center there. And I'm just kind of dabbing because I'm at a vertical, I'm just dabbing so there's not too much run down the page. Okay, so I'm going to come in now with some ultramarine blue mixed with a little Payne's gray. I don't like ultramarine blue straight, just because it looks like too blue, looks a little artificial. So I'm just kind of swiping in from the sides here, trying to make a nice sky. As you know, skies are like one of the more challenging things to try to do when you're first starting off. So I'm coming in with just a little bit more, a little darker. And I'm just giving it a little spray with the spray gun. I want to get that part running down the page a little bit. Try to keep it wet. And then I can kind of thin it out a little bit if it's too dark. Because we're going to need to leave some areas of white in order to make a convincing winter scene. So I'm giving it a little blast, another blast with the spray bottle. Kind of make it a little misty scene. Now I'm taking the brush and I am just sort of clearing that out a little bit. It's going to look a little more gray, but in contrast to the rest of the paint, it'll still look white. You can use masking fluid. I'm not really a fan of that. I just like to get in there and paint. A little more ultramarine blue. There you can see what we have so far. And as long as it stays wet, you can kind of shape things and sculpt things and thin out the paint. If you want a little bit of a hill there. That center is just a little too bright, so I'm just going to go over that a little bit. Don't really want it that stark white. So I'm just dabbing in a little more ultramarine blue there. And a little bit of yellow ochre there just to get some color going in the sky, some brightness. Blending it a little bit. Again, hitting it with the spray gun. Now that's where I wanted that little white area, but I wanted a little bit of paint so it doesn't look, I just don't want the brightness of the white of the paper. This is just a clean brush here now. And I'm just kind of blending things a little bit. And you see we got a nice little sky taking shape here. If your brush is clean and dry, you can kind of blend things and go over your sky. Now I'm just putting in some bushes here coming down the hill, some foliage, some trees, what have you. Coming all the way down. Again, ultramarine blue, same as the sky colors, a little bit of Payne's gray. And now just with a little bit more yellow, just to kind of vary it up a little bit. And if you're careful to let some of those bluer bushes show through, they'll look even more distant. I'm using the medium hake here. I think that's the medium. Could be the small, but they're so close it's hard to tell. Again, just shaping a little bit of a hill here. And it's a little too much, so I'll give it a little shot with the spray bottle. Again, trying to preserve some more white areas for what's going to be the misty snow area. So now I'm putting in just another little line of trees down below here. And another little line of trees here. Using the corner of the brush. You notice having the greens and the blues, they kind of have almost a two-tone effect. I'm just cleaning that up a little bit with a clean brush. Get rid of that hard edge there. Just trying to keep things blending. Keep it open with the spray bottle. Now I'm coming in with a little tissue. And I'm just going to create some more white, and I'm going to pull down those bushes. Almost they'll have a shadowy effect. And this is on Arches cotton, 100% cotton, 10 by 14. So while it's still wet, I'm just pulling down, creating a bit more of a slope there. And just sort of defining that tree line again. Again with the corner of the brush. Give it a little shot with the spray bottle, and again, I'm just going to pull down a little bit of that paint. You could paint that in, or you can use the paint that's there and sort of smear it. And I'm just redefining that corner tree line. So what I'm putting in here is basically going to be the edge of maybe a little creek that flows through there, a little bit of Payne's gray, stronger Payne's gray here. This is going to be the edge. And again, just streaking that over. Little frozen creek maybe. Pulling that down a little bit. And I think I'm getting a little too close. With the tree line that's there. So we might have to rework that a little bit. Maybe edge some out here with the brush. Clean brush. Kind of take our trees and give them a little clipping. And just redefining that edge a little bit. And you can see up top now we've got the trees. They look like they're shadowing over the slope. Nice snow in the little, we call it a valley, or the down slope there. And I think we could use a little something here in the distance. I hate to cover up that little spot there, but some of it will still show through. I just feel like we need a little something back there, maybe another little hill in the distance, just to get a little bit more distance out of it. Just lightening it with the cloth, just a little tissue. And just some distant foliage back there. Just redefining that a little bit. Just cleaning it up with a little bit with a tissue. And now we'll just sort of redefine this tree line that came down here. A little bit darker, so these are a little closer, and it'll push that little hill I just put in back. And now I'm just going to take another, this is the Frank Clark baby goat here, and I'm just going to pull that down. Instead of using the tissue, you can do this too. It's a soft brush. And pull that down a little bit. Use it kind of for blending since it's kind of dry. So we still have the color there from the yellow that was there. So now I'm going to use this brush here put in a nice pine tree, and I'm going to be real careful. Normally I get sloppy with these, but I want to leave some white so that I don't have to put in any white gouache. And if you leave a lot of holes, it'll just naturally look like maybe there's snow on the tree, especially in a winter scene. So I'm just kind of dabbing it as I go. This is Payne's Gray, Ultramarine, and Cad Yellow Hue. I'm just putting a little darker of the same combination of colors. Just trying to pull down a little shadow or reflective look to it. Straightening out that tree a little bit. And then I'm just using this flat brush to sort of pull down some color into that little creek there. Just defining that edge. And I'll try to pull down a little bit of reflection here, see how it goes. Give it a little shot with the spray bottle. Keep it wet. Can't resist fussing with that tree a little bit. And just a little housekeeping here, just touching up that edge again. As you go, you can see things drying on the page. And sometimes you need to darken things a little bit. Now I'm going to come in and throw another pine tree or two back here. You can use the hake for this, but if you use this brush, it tends to make it more random. This little baby goat here. And I'm just going to pull that down a little bit like the other ones. We don't want to cover up too much in the back there. And one more. Try to put them spaced apart a little bit so they're not banging into each other too much. And touching up my tree on this side a little bit. Pulling that down some more while it's still damp. Just taking a fan brush and just trying to feather that out a little bit. I ordered like 2 or 3 cheap set of fan brushes off of Amazon. More bristly than they're sharper. They're not soft. Now this is, I got this brush a while back. This is a goat hair brush too. It's more of a round. It's hard to say exactly what it is. It's almost kind of like the Hake, aka Hake brush. I'm going to take that fan brush and I'm just going to put a darker line of trees here just to even push the other things back a little more. Get some density out of it. Again, with the tissue, just kind of pull down, create that drift, and that's that hill. Still kind of working on that shadow there. It's almost too solid, too dark. As I said, you can play with it a little bit while it's still wet. That little round goat here comes in handy. It's, I can't remember where I got it. I think I got it at one of the hobby stores. This little area here is the only one that can say I've kind of fussed with a little bit here. Give it another spray. You just want to create a little bit of a blur, create some areas of light on that little icy stream there. So let's zoom in. I think we're gonna leave it with that. Let's zoom in and look. You see our distant hills there, and we've got a couple of birds I put in there, and you can see our hill coming down. You can see our icy stream there, and I think it turned out pretty well. Thank everyone so much for watching. Have a great day.